Good morning, everyone. I'm Laura Wiley. I'm going to be doing our music today. Thought I'd open us up with something nice, a little Bill Withers to get us started. When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sun it hurts my eyes, and something without warning, love, weighs heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day, 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 a lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of me seems impossible to face, when someone else instead of me always seems to know the way, then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, a lovely day. Then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Then I look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day, 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 a lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, a lovely day, lovely day, lovely day.
And good morning. Do we think Mr. Withers knew that he was singing in affirmation when he created that song?
I don't know, but I love this song. This is like my morning song, get up in the day, get you in
Uh huh.
good energy for the rest of the day.
What if you did a version of "It's gonna be a lovely day, lovely day, lovely day. This little light of mine, I'm gonna
I'm
let
gonna
it
let it
shine."
shine.
And then you could break into "Oh happy day, oh happy day."
Very along the same lines for
So
sure.
a mantra medley, we could call it.
I like that.
A metaphysical mantra medley at that, or a metaphysical mantra musical melody.
I like that. That's a good matchup.
Good morning, Laura Wiley.
Good morning. Sorry, my hair's wet. I just showered. I want it to be nice and clean for you all.
It's quite all right. No excuses for your physical appearance at all. Just celebrate. It's a lovely day.
It is a very nice day. I can already tell.
I know. Are you in the land of Los Angeles?
I am in Los Angeles, and I am 4 days away from my 40th birthday. So it's like
Well,
the last
happy early birthday.
last few days of my 30s. So been enjoying each one.
How exciting. Do you have anything special planned?
Oh yes, I am doing a massive blowout party. But I told everybody, I said this year you can all celebrate me. Next year I am celebrating alone.
There you go.
This time I'll throw a party for everybody.
There you go. I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine about big birthday parties and then just regular birthday parties and whether or not to bring gifts. And I said, on those big celebrations, the answer is yes, bring gifts. So and he was saying that he only gives gifts in for birthdays that have or in basically break that can break down with a five, so a zero or a five. Other than that, you get a card. So I'm like, well,
Yeah,
good that you have those boundaries. Well, I'm so glad you're here and happy early birthday.
thank you. Happy to be
And
here.
it's going to be beautiful music you're sharing with us today. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
See you in a bit. Well, hello, everyone, and a lovely day to all of you, wherever you may be joining us from, whether that's live on Zoom and or YouTube. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox, and you are joining the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles in our virtual space as we set off a beautiful, lovely day here on the 28th of September in the year 2025. It's my privilege to be with you today and to have you with us as we continue on celebrating our vision statement of as a community of supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. And we wrap up the month of September as we close out our theme for the month, which is good is happening through me. And so today I invite each of you, no matter where you may be open to each of those components becoming real for you in your life, and to remember that just where you are, the power and the presence and the magnificence and the grandeur and the glory of the divine is fully expressed by means of you right here and right now. And so without further ado, we are going to move into our opening slides. And so we are indeed the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, and we are having, as I said before, our vision statement of supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. A big hello to you, and I want you to take a moment to enjoy knowing that, wow, I didn't even pick this screen this way, that it is Oh Happy Day. Talk about a universal divine intervention where we know that love is the self-givingness of spirit, and it's doing its thing through you and through me today. So I invite you to take a deep breath in and exhale, allowing yourself to be centered in this magnificence of the divine, and to repeat that as we inhale and exhale and move into our day. As a community, we welcome all races, ethnicities, religions, countries of origins, all gender identities, all sexual orientations, all abilities and disabilities, all spoken languages, all ages, everyone. In the concept of spoken language, and as a community and as one who practices the studies of the science of mind and metaphysics, we know that our words have power. Not only do they have power as we speak them, but they all have a vibrational frequency to them for every time they have been spoken. And so let's use these words and affirmation together, and the power that is in them as them and being expressed through them of we welcome one and welcome all, and say it together with me. Ready? We welcome one and we welcome all. As a community, we've come together for many years to teach primarily the philosophy, faith, and way of life known as the science of mind. This week I was working with someone and they were asking me about the science of mind and what does it really mean? And I was saying at its very core, it's that there's an interconnectedness of all energy, and that energy is both individualized by means of each one of us and all sentient beings, as well as it's still just one, which is that creative source of all life, the power and the presence of the only thing that it is. It matters not what we call it, but it matters that we call it greatly, because the words that we use, once again, have power. We call it everything from source to the universal power to infinite mind, as well as that universal word for the power that's greater than we are, God. We practice using our minds in a way to align with the qualities that are part of this power. We believe that they include but are not limited to peace and power and beauty and joy and light and life and love and wisdom. We not only align with those qualities, and I'm going to talk about those a bit more this morning in our message from a vibrational frequency perspective, but to know that because we live in a universe that is governed by spiritual law, the very thing that we know ourselves to be, whether that's consciously or unconsciously, is made manifest in our world. And So then, because that is a spiritual truth, and because we're mental beings, and because we have the ability to be contemplative, in other words, have choice, we can make a choice to use our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions, our reactions, and our interactions in life in a way that propagates our innate nature. In other words, to propagate good. Good is happening through me now. So, bringing that all full circle to our vision statement as a community supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. Just tuning in and listening to the song that Laura just sang of "Oh Happy Day" reminds us of our ability to feel that language, to feel that energy, and to know that as we affirm it individually, that we can feel the shift that is taking place within us if we're open to it and receptive to it. I'm going to invite each of us to be open and receptive to hearing our opening ritual today of calling in the light and hearing the background music in a new way and tuning in to the frequency of the energy of this ritual, calling in the light. There's the music. And look at the image on the screen of all the different candles that are lit, all coming from one light. It's a visual metaphor for who we are as individualized expressions of the divine itself. And we hear the words of the morning ritual. Today we perform this ritual, this ceremony, to promote the universal consciousness of life. Which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. The purpose of this ritual is to draw into our gathering this morning a more conscious awareness of our oneness and the qualities that we possess as complete expressions of the divine. I stated those earlier as peace and power and beauty and joy and light and life and love and wisdom. And so as we feel the vibrations shift during this experience, may we each become ever more aware of the light of life that exists in and as all expressions of life, which includes you and it includes me. Once again, if it's safe for you where you are, to look at the orb on the screen, feel the music, feel the shift, hear my voice, and watch that flickering flame as we move deeper into the ritual. I love this image on the screen of the evolutionary process of the being. And we hear these words, the ancestor prayer. When you were born, the earth became your body. The stone became your bone. The sea became your blood, and the sun became your eye. The moon became your mind, the wind became your breath. When you passed to the other world, your breath became the wind, your mind became the moon, your eye became the sun, and your blood became the sea. Your bone became the stone, and your body became the earth. When we were born, you did the same for us. You called forth the earth and the rocks. The sea arose and the sun descended. The moon shone down and the winds sang. For those who came after, we shall do as you did for us. When we're gone, we shall do as you did before. Ancestors, we honor you. As we allow this prayer to take root in our psyche, our soul, our being, and begin to just feel our ancestors with us, because energy all continues and continues to thrive in an evolutionary process. We also bring forth into our mind's eye all that have sang or heard the song Calling in the Light, as Laura comes on the screen and takes us through it. There's a chant portion in it. Those words are on the screen, and I invite you to chant along when she invites us to do so.
Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love. Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love. I am love, I am peace, I am heart, I am free, I am spirit, I am soul, all together we are whole. Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love. Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is.
And so it is. I loved the ancestors' prayer, the visual of that, the bringing back of that, the interconnectedness of the words "Oh Happy Day" showing up on the screen, and then when the chanting part of Calling in the Light, I am love, I am light, and then the visual on the screen of the energy just rising up. In my mind, that was tuning into our ancestors.
I like that.
So I think in today's world, it's really important to remember from where we've come, so that we can remember the strength that we have in us as we march forward.
I like that.
Yeah. What song do you have for us next?
So I decided to open with a little bit of an unconventional one. I have not done this song in so long, and I actually had forgotten about it. But I feel like it's a really powerful message for where we are in the world right now. It's by Jewel. It's called Hands.
Uh huh. Fabulous. Well, I love Jewel. Well, take it away.
If I could tell the world just one thing, it would be that we're all okay. And not to, 'cause worry is wasteful and useless in times like these. I won't be made useless, won't be idle with despair. I'll gather myself around my faith, for light is the darkness most fear. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. And they're not yours, they are my own. And I am never broken. Poverty stole your golden shoes, it didn't steal your laughter. And heartache came to visit me, and I knew it wasn't ever after. We will fight, not out of spite, for someone to stand up for what's right. For when there's a man who has no voice, their hours shall go singing. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. They're not yours, they are my own. And I am never broken. In the end, only kindness matters. In the end, only kindness matters. I will get down on my knees, and I will pray. I will get down on my knees, and I will pray. I will get down on my knees, and I will pray. small, I know, but they are not yours, they are my own. They're not yours, they are my own, and I am never broken. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. They're not yours, they are my own. We are never broken. We are never broken. We are never broken.
We're not ever broken. Sorry, my camera button keeps toggling in the wrong way. It's not broken either. So it just is. You're getting applause coming from inside the Zoom room.
Thank you.
So,
I love this song. I'd forgotten about this song. I loved this song, and it used to be really motivational for me about moving forward and staying strong in yourself.
well, that's so important to remember, and that it's going to lead perfectly into the message that we have this morning of not being broken and understanding where some ideas of that may have come from, and then what to do about it.
Yeah.
So, really interesting. So, once again, kind of an tie in moment. So, wonderful. Thank you.
The actor.
Just as I was saying, it's so important for us to remember that we're not broken, both as a community, as a people, as individualizations of life itself, that we are, as we teach in our philosophy, faith, and way of life, we're perfect, whole, and complete just as we are. That's a big idea to wrap your head around, and more, it's a big idea. As we all continue on that journey of finding personal self empowerment through a spiritual awakening. I have my door open, so if those crows cawing in the background is bothersome, send me a message and I'll shut the door. Um, there they go. Maybe I should just shut the door, right? Um, Sorry about that. I'd forgotten I had the door open. I have my little office studio here and just my own little vibe happening. Kind of leads me perfectly into our segue of our theme for the month, which is good is happening through me. And it's been such a byline for me, and I'm assuming for each of us this month, of remembering that and opening ourselves up to what that means in the context of good. I started the month off and have continued to remind us that good in this context is a synonym for that energy of the divine that we each are individualizations of. It's good is God in our teaching. In the book, The Science of Mind, when you look it up, he addresses that good is just a synonym for God. And it's important for us to play with language and to play with energy and to play with perspectives and to play with understanding, because that's how we have those spiritual awakenings. This morning, we're going to do something fun for my message, or I'm hoping that you're going to find it as fun as I do. That's a bit unconventional, like Laura was speaking of singing Jewel, a little unconventional for her. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you the map of an abbreviated version of the map of consciousness that I talk about often. That's the study from Dr. David Hawkins of the lowest level of consciousness to the highest level through the journey of consciousness awakening, based on the study of thousands of people that he studied over the years as a psychologist and a metaphysician. And I'm going to use that as a basis for us opening up to understanding that good is always happening through us based on how we are perceiving it and using it. And then Travis is going to play for us a video of Abraham Hicks that I selected for us today. That's about 15 minutes long, but I'm going to have 9 stops in the middle of that to kind of grab where we're at and share with you my perception of some of the language that Hicks is using to help curate this message for us today. So without further ado, I'm going to put on the screen right now this abbreviated version of the map of consciousness so that you can look at it for a perspective. I want you to, even if you can screenshot this for yourself right now, it'd be great to do that, because Hicks is going to talk about using our emotions and understanding the vortex. And the vortex in traditional metaphysics would be tuning into the energy of our divine nature, where we become aware of that and stay there. It's in this map of consciousness showing you that the lowest level of consciousness is 20 at shame, which is a contracted and destructive energy where one lives in struggle and suffering, moving through the act of courage, opening up to letting your light guide you is where you begin to find empoweredness, which is at 200, moving up to the middle line, which is love, the heart-centered area of letting spirit guide our way, all the way up to enlightenment, which is 1,000. The objective of living in the vortex that Hicks is going to talk about a good bit is in this place right here. You can look on the screen. It's living from 200 to 350. It's in a state of courage, empowerment, transformation, opening up to a heart-centered way of being. It's about living from a place of being aware that good is not just happening through you, but it is you. And that you are it, and it's being made manifest always. So Travis, are you ready to let's kick it off? Here we go. So take it away.
Think about the exact words that we are using. There is this vortex that you are allowing or resisting. And if you're allowing it, it's the path of least resistance. So the path of least resistance is whatever it takes not to confront, you see. We really mean that when we say bring back the fist. Now, there are a lot of people even in this room that say, but come on, don't we need to stand up for ourselves? Won't we be a doormat? And we want you to understand that if you're all outside the vortex and inside the vortex is off the table of discussion and you want to win, then you better get big and strong and you better be able to beat them all up. And that's the game you play in. Let's call it the out of the vortex game, where brute force and good debate is really where it's at. But one who's in alignment is millions of times more powerful than those who are not. So if you make the decision that you want to connect with your true power, that you want to connect with who you really are, and further, you can't be joyful unless you do that, then it makes you willing to just let those things go by the wayside while you collect yourself inside the vortex.
Sorry, trying to toggle many switches. So what I want us to garner from that segment is about collecting yourself inside the vortex, is the language that Hicks uses there. And Hicks, remember, is a consciousness that is being moved through the individual called Esther. But for the purpose of pulling yourself mentally or consciously placing ourselves mentally in the vortex, let's go back to the map of consciousness. It's if we're living in a state of where anger, desire, fear, grief, apathy, guilt, shame, or pride is our state of mind, then we're out of alignment with our divine nature. Remember, in metaphysics, our divine nature is that which includes being, peace, and power, and beauty, and joy, and light, and life, and love, and wisdom. So to get in the vortex, we must have the courage, in other words, the willingness, as addressed here, to open up to letting our divine nature be present, as opposed to living in this state of contracted and destructive energy. We want to open up to being creative and expansive energy-wise. In other words, not living in a state of discordant nature with our qualities of divine, but to consciously be in alignment with that. For that to happen, you and I must use our mind in a way of intention, of purpose, of willingness, all as addressed here in this green through the blue in this map. Now, I'm going to be putting a lot at you this morning, but I want you to be open to absorbing what means something to you and know that you're going to walk away with information and awakenings that is perfect for you right where you are, because the spiritual truth is it's a lovely day, oh happy day, and good is happening through you. Now, tune into the willingness of what happens when you're willing to change your thinking and change your life. Let's continue. I'm going to stop the share so Travis can take all over.
There are so many people who will convince you that you owe them an explanation. You owe them an explanation. But they don't just mean that. They mean you owe me the explanation that I want to hear. That's what and I'm not going to let you go until you say what I want to hear from you. And so what are your options? In other words, do you want to deny who you are? And this is really a big issue. It's the reason it runs so deep within so many of you, because the day you were born, you had a guidance system that people on the planet around you, mostly outside the vortex already, were saying to you, in order for me to feel good, you need to do these things. And so right away, almost all children look to their parents and teachers, and when they're smiling, then that's good, and when they're frowning, then that's bad. In other words, and they give up their own relationship to their own vortex by letting themselves try to please this one and this one and this one and this one. But then the longer you live, the more you realize that they're all fickle and they all want different things from you, and it just drives you crazy. In other words, the longer you live, the more you realize that something is missing if you're not in alignment with who you are.
So how do you get in alignment? You get in alignment by changing your thinking and changing your life. And she was just talking about how the world wanted us to adapt to its perspective on how life is supposed to be lived after we were born into this world as a complete expression of that which it is: peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom. Not with pride, not with anger, not with desire, not with fear or grief or apathy, guilt or shame, not to struggle, not suffering. Ernest Holmes tells us as well that it's time for the human being to stop suffering, let go of the struggle. As Ricky Byers-Beckwith sings, no more struggle, no more strife. It's with my faith I see the light. What Hicks is inviting us to do here is to align ourselves with a state of mind that is reflective of the higher consciousness. They are going to talk about this more and more. So, but what I want you to tune into right now as a salient point from the previous segment is, it may not necessarily be some outside source, family, media, parents, school, history, that's been the one imposing ideas on us individually that's out of alignment with our divine nature. Most often, it's ourselves. We're doing it to ourselves. And so today, let's all open our mind to let go of the need for that and have the courage to let go of living in any contracted or destructive energetic fields, to open up to the vibrations of creative and expansive energy, even though we may only be living from the place of courage or neutrality or willingness. That's the gateway for transformation, to align ourselves on the journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening, of the spiritual awakening being the cause, of being the magnetic force, of being the way of life, of the tuning into, prior to the experience, that good is happening through me. It's not believing that because we look outside to feel or see or even maybe touch or taste the good. It's about knowing that it is the energy by which we are. Therefore, what's in the external must reflect that. Travis, take it away.
So we're just suggesting in as strong a way as we can that when you finally get it, that you're not going to feel good unless you're in alignment with who you are. But we know it's a big price to pay. I have to pay the price of joy in order to find my power. That's really what we're talking about. You have to pay the price of consistent joy and happiness and appreciation and alignment in order to really come into your true power. When you are in your true power, then it's not difficult for your life to go well for you, because first of all, law of attraction's not matching you up with things that don't match it. And in your desire to teach, and that's what happens to so many of you, you're a teacher, and so students come.
Students come. I bet that throws you to think that you're a teacher. She's speaking of many of the people in the room where they're giving this lecture. But we are teachers, whether we're conscious or intentional of that or not. People are participating in our vibrational frequency experientially and responding to that. And so what's being called forth is sometimes even we're our own student, most often that's the case. And so what we're being called to do here is to then use our energy purposefully, to use our energy intentionally, to remember that at all times, vibrationally, we're one with the sea of consciousness and life, and to not look at the concept of teaching, if you will, and student as a task that we've been given from above, but to look at it more as the part of the journey as mental beings of the journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. It's about the giving to ourselves that which is new, and then feeling and experiencing that, and then observing it. Remember, last couple of weeks I've talked about the thought process cycle, which is thought, belief, the law responds, we then observe, then the effect and experience happens, and then we observe that and react that, and the thought happens again. That is a journey of teacher, student, creator, observer, cause, effect, process, for lack of a better term, or a good term in that matter. And so what Hicks is telling us here is it's about staying tuned in to where we're at on the journey. Once again, going back to I'm going to put it on the screen, I'm going to keep doing this on the map of consciousness, to then ask ourselves, not from a place of judgment, not from a place of praise or discouragement, but from a place of observation, of a discerning perspective on how we're using our mind, our being, our emotion. That's the left side of this map. These are vibrational frequencies that are emotional. I'm sorry, the hummingbird just showed up. So the divine's doing its thing, baby, as it always is, just right outside my window. Which is a reminder to each of us that good is happening through us. And so do we want to live in a state of struggle, suffering, empowerment, transformation, or in God consciousness? I believe, like the hummingbird that just showed up in front of me, symbolically is reminding me that there's always that exists that can provide through me the opportunity to live a transcendent life, to live a life that is contradictory to what the monkey mind says is possible. Take it away. So Hicks is retuning herself right now. And so maybe let's see if she's ready. Let's see, is she doing her thing or is she stuck, Travis? Maybe you got to stop her and reboot her. And so as evidence, so this is what an example for us in life when something that we have planned goes awry. How do we react? Do we freak out? Do we move right back into that struggle? I know that sometimes that's the default mechanism for me. Earlier this morning when YouTube wasn't going live, I started to get in that state of agitation. But then I chose not to just trust the universe and to trust the process. Also, you can speak your truth and authority as well, to do what you can to make the world not work reflective of your state of mind, but to tune into those higher consciousness and be a conscious participant in the development of consciousness that is broadening itself through you in life. Hicks is going to come on to tell us in just a moment more about how to let our emotions guide us on this journey in life of being being in that framework of mind that I was just talking about understanding the different dimensions of life that are unfolding through us always. But no matter what is indeed happening, that we can make the decision to believe and to emote good, right? Good. God, the creative source, energy, life, all of it. And to remember that at all times, life is unfolding at multi dimensions. So it's that which, of course, we can see, touch, taste, and feel. But Hicks is going to go on to tell us that what we're seeking to be is that which is transcendent of that. And so we want to tune into the vibrations of that is transcendent of that, while at the same time being a part of that world as well. We're going to see if we can get Travis in.
When students come,
there we go. How
lots
perfect.
of teaching goes on. In other words, we don't know, in the conversation that we were just offering about Esther hanging up, we would not begin to say that the other person was wrong, or that the benefit of the whole thing was all Esther's doing. In other words, we so want everyone to understand that when there is a problem that is formulating, there is a solution that is formulating too. And what makes you want to sort of break away from those that are still beating the drum of the problem is that you're ready to move on to the solution, and often they're not. And you just can't move on to the solution while you're beating the drum of the problem. You have to let it go. Here is the important thing to understand about this vortex. This vortex is vibrational. And the vortex, as you stand outside of it, is not a place that you can see yet, or hear yet, or smell yet, or taste yet, or touch yet, because it has not evolved vibrationally to the point of that revelation to you. But it has something that you can feel. The key to your vortex is the way you feel. So as you think about your lover and you feel the elation of that, you are offering no resistance. As you think about the absence of your lover and you feel that discord, that means you are discordant to your vortex. Do you hear what we're getting at? In other words, the key to your vortex is the emotion. You can feel your way into your vortex. You feel your way in. You feel your way in. But if you need to see it and smell it and hear it and taste it and touch it before you allow yourself to feel better, you slow yourself way down. And that's where the word expectation comes in. If you can train yourself to positive expectation, to feeling good without needing the manifestation first, now you are the creator that you were born to be. Using the power of your mind and the glorious benefit of your emotional guidance system to figure out that relationship between the two vibrational aspects of you. Because who you are in this vortex is a huge vibrational rhythm.
So who you are in this vortex is a huge vibrational rhythm. Hold on, Travis. Yeah, is a huge vibrational rhythm. I want you to take that in, who you are in this vortex, who you are as expressing the divine is a huge vibrational rhythm. Going back to the map, then how are you showing up? And I'm not asking you that from a punitive perspective. I'm not asking that from a judgmental perspective. And I'm not even asking that from a perspective of wanting you to be proud of yourself. I'm asking that from the perspective of understanding that we live in a universe where how we show up energetically, then life is provided through us reflective of that. And so the key is, where do we want to be on the map? And how are we responding to life as life shows up? When things show up different than we thought it would be, whether we define that as good or not good. The importance to it all is that to the best of our ability, and that's my entire intent with this today, is to remember to stay to the best of our ability in an empowered state where transformation is unfolding and we're living life both from a higher consciousness and heart-centered thinking and being. Travis is going to take us home with the remainder of the video.
And who you are in your physical body is also a vibrational rhythm. And when doubt meets desire, it doesn't meet very well, and you feel disappointment. When desire meets hope, you're right on the edge of your vortex, and the vortex will take you right in and show you something that will make a believer out of you. Now, we want you to feel this vortex, and we know, talking to physical friends who are used to seeing and hearing and smelling and tasting and touching about this vortex that you can't see and hear and smell and taste and touch, we know it borders on what you want to call fairy tales, but we've seen your other books, and you're good with fairy tales.
And I think she's talking about both fairy tales in the traditional sense, but she may also be talking about the Bible. What she's reminding us here is, yes, we're good with fairy tales. What she's saying is we're good with letting our imagination be a tool for how we can use our power. That's really what I believe they're telling us here. And so today I'm inviting all of us to use our imaginative abilities, as we've talked about many times before, to begin to imagine our life being immersed in and radiating these colors, right? This type of living, to let our aura in life reflect these colors at all times. Can you imagine? Yes. Yourself imagining that? Yes, you can, and so you shall. All right, Travis, let's take her home all the way.
In other words, anyone who's trying to explain the non-physical realm to physical beings. In other words, you want to translate everything back into physical terms, and we want to help you to understand that you are the leading edge of everything that we are. You're out here as the extension of source energy. And when you stand here outside the vortex and demand that you see the culmination of what you want before you adjust your vibration, you are asking the impossible, because law of attraction is consistent always. Deliberate creating means you know you're expanding and you're making an effort to go with it. And when you do, life is full and fast and fun and delicious and invigorating. You feel the passion of your being flowing through you because you feel the fullness of who you are focused in you. To see the world through the eyes of Source, to live in this physical body in sync with the energy of who you are, and feel Source flowing through you, having the conversation in the elevator, having the conversation in the restaurant, having the conversation with your children or grandchildren, having a conversation with your lover. When you are in tune with the Source that is you, and you are letting the whole of you be present in this moment, that is deliberate creation, and that is the art of allowing, and that is who you were born to be.
So Travis was telling me he'd already cut this video to where I had told him the stops were going to be, so he can't keep going. But that's even better for us all. Taking those words of deliberate creation, of the art of allowing, that's who you were born to be. That's who you're meant to be. Just like the hummingbird showing up. Like we are meant to be in tune with the energy of the divine. And we're already, it's always accessible for us. And so this method of teaching today, if you will, of sharing, of enlightenment, of inspiring, was to provide a new tool. Although it may seem to be a bit chaotic and fragmented, it's not. It's stimulating different parts of our being to remind us who we are as divine beings, to remind us of the power that we're imbued with, and to remind us that at all times we're at choice. We're always, always, always at choice. And in choosing to use our mind, to also let our emotions in a healthy way guide us on this journey. So we're going to keep going, all right?
Esther said at some point along the scenario, maybe we should never ask for nice things. Maybe we should just never have nice things. Then when they drop it, we'd say, no problem. It's made out of plywood. It doesn't matter. I can make another one tomorrow. And Jerry said, I don't think that's what Abraham's going for here. I don't think that the secret to a happy life is holding back on your desires. You can't. You can't. Life is going to insist that you expand. The whole universe, everything that you are about, the core of the energy that is you, the very reason that you came into this body, into this glorious contrasting experience, it all exists for the joyous, inevitable, eternal expansion. You cannot hold it back. But when you hold yourself back with contradictory thoughts to the expansion, you feel the discord, and then sometimes you say, I think I shouldn't want so much because I want things I can't figure out how to have. And that's really what we want to talk about here today, because we want you to let go of the manifestation part of it just for a little while and take emotional journeys. Most people who want more money, or who want a better relationship, or who want a better job, or who want a better car, or who want a better life, most people who want that want it with a flawed premise basis. They want it because they think, what I've got doesn't please me when I observe it, so if I could create something better, then I could observe that and I would be pleased. So give it to me, and then I'll have a pleasing response to what has been given. And we say, it doesn't work that way. You have to find the vibrational attitude in order to stop the resistance, in order to allow the manifestational receiving of what's already in your vortex. You have to find the vibration first. In other words, you have to have an emotional journey. As you're feeling appreciation for Jerry and Esther, and we do as well, we just want to explain to you the rather simple thing that they achieved. Through meditation, they released resistance and went into the vortex, even before we were describing it as such, where Esther was able to receive full understanding of what we know. So when you think about it, as you are living some of step one as a collective consciousness, putting all kinds of things, solutions and answers into your vortex, but most not able to find the answers because they are still beating the drum outside the vortex. So through meditation, someone like Esther, not carrying around big grudges and not carrying around big concerns, really feeling pretty good, just meditated herself right into alignment, right into vibrational alignment with all of the answers to all of the questions and all of the solutions to all of the problems. So what we were saying to you is she's not different from you. In other words, when you find some reason to feel good and you get into the vortex, once inside, once you practice the vibration of it, you begin to notice that as quickly as your life presents to you a question, it has presented the answer right there simultaneously. And the closer you are to your vortex, the more real-time life you begin living. Have you had the experience of driving in your vehicle and you can feel that that driver ahead of you is going to do something erratic? And so you're ready for it. You are not surprised by it all. In fact, sometimes you move out of the way of it before it even becomes a problem because you are so living such real time. Your questions and answers, your problems and solutions are so vibrationally close to one another that you are then living this exciting, joyous, adventurous life that you have come forth to live.
I love the way Hicks wraps this all up, because what they're telling us is that by choosing to align ourselves as deliberate creators with the art of allowance to the vortex, to being courageous enough to let transformation and empowerment move through us, and by not doing it from the perspective of having to manifest something, but trusting that because we live in a universe that's governed by spiritual law, it responds to that state of being, then that, of course, it works because that's the way it works, which then gives us the opportunity to tune into our innate nature, emotionally, energetically, intellectually, wisdom-wise. And as we align with that, because it's always doing its thing, then in human terms, when we're looking at life as solution and problem, they become one, and they're right on the edge of each other, if you will. And we don't have to seek the solutions because they're there already to what is considered the problem. And if a problem were to occur, we already have the solution, and that we can live in the flow of our divine nature and all of the physical needs are met. And they're telling us that it's about living from that perspective. And then they say, well, how did Jerry and Esther Hicks do that? And they said they did that without what they thought they were doing of desiring it, but doing it through the act of meditation. In other words, by opening up and receiving, by surrendering, by practicing, by believing, but all from a detached perspective. And so that's really what it's all about. And so we're going to close it out now for sure.
None of you intended to ever let there be such a big gap between your awareness of the problem and your awareness of the solution. You intended to live a more aligned life experience. And so Esther and Jerry are appreciating what you are offering here, and we are appreciating all of you for your step one experience, which is putting the solution there. We just don't want you to make this experience seem like something that is so out of the ordinary, because while it is wonderful that Esther is tuned to the frequency of Abraham so that she can find words to express our knowing, and while we know that sometimes if you are outside the vortex, you can't hear the words yourself, really, if you are too far away, you can't hear them even when they are being expressed. So anything that you're getting from this is because of your vibrational proximity to it. And the credit is all yours. Because as you softly, not in a harsh way and not in a determined way, but in a soft, playful way, as you acknowledge the existence of your vortex and you reach for feelings that feel good while you are there, as you train yourself by practicing the inside the vortex feeling more and more and more, what will begin to happen to you is that more things that make it easier to be there and stay there begin coming to you. More fun friends, more rendezvousing with interesting books and ideas on television, more cooperation from the universe, more opportunities to feel good, more clarity, more stamina, more vitality, more humor, more fun, more money, more of the things that you've been asking for will show themselves to you in very real terms. And you will find yourself again and again making the correlation between what's gone on here in this gathering and what's happening in your life experience. And you can move forward saying to yourself and to anyone else who you think is ready to hear you, I now understand that I am a vibrational being. And I now understand that through the living of this life in this magnificent physical body, I've carved out something that is so much more. And I can feel the power of source energy and all that is standing in readiness to welcome me into vibrational alignment, complete alignment with what I've carved out. And the celebration just goes on and on and on as I constantly am catching up with the expansion that life has helped me to carve out. And every time I'm in the mode of reaching, I'm happy. And every time I'm in the mode of catching up, I'm happy. The problem is as meaningful to me as the solution because it's all part of the expansion, the joyous expansion that I've come here to live and that I am now consciously, deliberately living. We have enjoyed this immensely. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain blissfully.
And so it is. Hicks wrapped it up perfectly, and so it is. Laura's going to come back and sing a song for us right now, and then we'll come back together.
Hi. Think of your fellow man, lend a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. The world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see. Another day goes by and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If you want world to know, we won't let hatred grow. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. The world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart. 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 Take a good look around, and if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. Well, I hope when you decide, kindness will be your guide. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. The world will be a better place for you, for me. Just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart.
I love that. Fantastic. Put a little love in your heart. Thank you so very, 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 very much, Laura. Thank you for that. And we'll let that be our last song because it's a great song to end on. Put a little love in your heart. I'm going to invite you all to allow everything that's been shared today to be absorbed into your being. And if you'd like to support our community financially, you can go to our website, CSL-LA.org, and click on the donate button there, as well as our app in the App Store. You can mail in a check. Our address is there. Just want to remind you all that we're all on a journey together, finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. A big thank you to Travis this morning for all the work that he did to get that video ready and to rolling with the punches. And a big thank you to Robert, our administrative assistant and social media person, and to all of you. So know that each morning at 7:30 we have a new thought text for the day that goes out. You can sign up for that through our website or our app in the App Store, an e-newsletter that goes out each week, and our midweek morning meditation that takes place every Wednesday morning at 8:30. You can access all of that information through our website. We're on all the social media sites. And without further ado, we're going to say thank you for being here today. Absorb all of this. If you'd like a copy of that map of consciousness, you can reach out to me and I'll send it to you, as well as the link from the video today if you'd like to watch that. And just know that right where you are, God is. If you're on Zoom, we're going to stay on for a moment and say hello. If you're on YouTube, we're saying goodbye to you right now. And have a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous week.